let's see here. All right, go live. An error occurred.
Uh-oh.
Of course it did. Off to a good start.
Mm-hmm. Maybe hit end stream. Oh.
Maybe it's because I opened this and I didn't like it.
Streaming offline. I think you can get live control room.
Just like go live.
Oh. Does it say there's one?
I don't know.
Well, has a minute 20.
Hey, I think we're going.
Huh.
Yeah? First time, you're always going to have troubles, right?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that this is actually going. Let's see. So just hang with us, right? It's the first time. Hey, there we are. Okay. Well, of course it's still, yeah.
So weird.
Share. Share. Include original post. All right, just sharing with social media. And all right, I think we're going to do it. Make sure we look up there. We have chat open, so if you can't hear us, say something in chat. Anyway, so welcome to the first episode of the Mountain Talk live stream. Been talking about doing this for quite a while. Seth and I are going to go. He's already climbed mountains before. It's my first time climbing an actual mountain from base to top, and so been kind of making a big deal out of it. And one of the things we wanted to do was do these live streams to talk about gear and plans. And this first one, we're actually going to do a kind of introduce who we are. So I'm Jason Flaherty. So I run Flare Court Media that you're watching this on, and this is Seth Berkey, and he does you most of the stuff you're doing right now is on Berkey Living.
Yeah, so I have Berkey Living on Instagram and Facebook, where I just give health tips, workouts, just kind of overall, how to optimize your life and be healthier. And then I also been doing professional photography for the last 10 years, and so I like to do that when I'm out in the mountains.
Yeah. So we were kind of talking before we started that we've actually known each other since 2006.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. We met at Walmart all the way back in the day. You were in the phone department.
Yeah. Yep. Back in electronics, selling cell phones.
And I was just a normal electronics person.
Yeah. Back before smartphones, it was quite a time.
Yeah, so I was looking at some of our older, when we went to Colorado, which I'll talk about in a second with your brother.
Oh, yes.
I looked at my flip phone, or it was like a slider. It was like the...
oh, yeah, that KSR or something?
Yeah, you slid it down, you could type on it. Because I'd saved the GPS. That way I knew where I took the pictures, because cameras didn't have GPS.
Or at least not ones we could afford.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see here. I got notes so we don't get too far off topic here. The shows generally, we'll try to keep them about 45 minutes. If we get talking about something interesting, it may stretch to an hour. You can always find the replay at Flare Court Media on, the website, flarecourtmedia.com, or on the YouTube channel. You can see the replay go up. Definitely leave comments. Yeah, so this episode, I think we're just going to talk about our experiences in the mountains. As I said, Seth had a lot more experience than me. Have some pictures to share with you about that. And we're drinking a little Belvini. I always mispronounce this. My favorite Scotch, but I always mispronounce it. But Seth was nice enough to bring. I was going to make an old fashioned, but he went with something a little straighter.
I'll put some hair on his chest.
Let's see here. So yeah, we are going to climb the Mount of the Holy Cross in Colorado. It's a 14,005-foot mountain. I picked it mostly. This was my idea. I wanted to do this. For a long time. Well, for a while, I kind of struggled with depression and all that stuff, and so now I'm finally at a really good place in my life where I'm like, you know what? I can finally start going on adventures. I can camp. I can hike. I can get out and travel a little bit more. And so one of the things I wanted to do to push myself, help me get in better shape, was I'm like, I want to climb a mountain.
Right? It's a good motivation.
I was looking at 14ers. Sorry, this is going to be a little confusing here. Let me pull this up. Doop web. Hey, that's us. I think you should be able to see what I'm seeing. So I was looking at 14ers.com, website you told me about, and looking at some of the classes of mountains, and I saw this picture here, and I just think it looks like a really nice, pretty mountain. If you're going to climb a mountain, it should be pretty.
I mean, yeah, I should at least have some views and good scenery to make it not seem so daunting.
Yeah. And since we both, do photography and videography, it gives us something to shoot and not just a what is it? I think Mount Massive, if I was looking at the pictures right, it just kind of looked like a big dirt pile.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, not that impressive to look at. It's just kind of plain.
Yeah. So anyway, this picture is what, and then looking over here, I want something kind of difficult. I didn't just want a walk in the park. So exposure, rock is moderate, rockfall moderate, route finding moderate. I think moderate is, I don't know what the highest scale is, but I think moderate is probably a little high sounding. I mean, I don't know if that's that difficult.
I mean, the main thing you look at is the difficulty, what class, right? So class 1, 2, as the numbers go up, it's harder. Class 3 is when you start to get into more like there'll be areas of that you'll need to scramble on like loose rock or something. You get above class 3, and then that's when you're going to need more like actual rock climbing experience and gear. I really recommend first time try to stay below, get an easy class 3 or lower until you get some more experience and just get out there and get used to the environment. I think this one will be perfect.
Yeah, so this one, it was towards the top of the class 2.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a long mountain. It takes, what is this, 5,000 feet of actual climbing. I think we go up 1,000 feet, we go down 1,000 feet, and then we go up another 4,000 feet, if I recall, to get to the top. So
yeah, because you have to go over a little ridge line to get down to that river where we're hoping to camp along the trail.
Yeah. So I guess we'd probably hit the first 1,000 feet.
Yeah, right in that ridge there.
Carrying our backpacks. Then we'd hopefully camp somewhere around this half moon, I think. And then we'd...
Yeah, there's a river.
Yeah, it's down in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just past that river. A little ways more into the green. Because then you'll get back down into tree line. And so it'll be, kind of... Nope, other side. There you go.
Over here?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But in the green.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then, basically, hopefully, weather permitting and stuff, then maybe stay a day or two at camp and then summit, get up early and summit, and just kind of take our time. That way we can really, soak it in and get some pictures and video. And but I'm a little worried about the snow. They're like, I don't know, at least 150 to 200% snowpack right now. Which, unless something crazy weather-wise happens, a lot of that will probably still be there.
Which will make finding the route harder. Obviously, it's cold.
It'll make it, that, and could make it more dangerous.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Just have to play it by ear, and as it gets closer, I think contact some of the ranger stations around there and see what their reports are.
One of the interesting things about this mountain is, so the summit is right here, but then you can actually go around what's called the Halo Ridge Line, and it takes you over a bunch of 13,000 footers. And there's over here, there's a shelter, a stone shelter, a lightning shelter. You can actually camp in if you wanted to, and then you can work your way back down. So we'll have to see, but we talked about doing a couple day hikes, maybe hiking over to here to shoot across the valley, across the Lake of Tears. Because I don't know if we probably won't have time to do the full ridge in one day.
It depends on how early we get up. So I mean, if we get up and start hiking before sunrise, and with day packs on and stuff, trail conditions permitting, should be able to make pretty good time. But it just kind of depends. Otherwise, we can loop back around.
Mm-hmm. One of these is actually a snow only.
Yeah, that red one is, or pink, whatever color that is.
Anyway, so that's kind of what we're planning to do.
So if you're looking to get into it, or looking for new peaks and want to, really get information, 14ers.com is an excellent site. People are really good about posting trail condition updates or route, like how they, kind of write-ups of the route when they did it, and usually have pictures, and so it's really good to kind of breeze through there and kind of gives you a better idea of what you're looking at before you go out.
I'm just making sure we're still going. Hate to be doing all this and find out we're actually dead in the water. Cool. That looks good. Yes, there's that 5,600 feet. Total length of the thing is 12 miles.
Yeah, for the loop, I think, right? Yeah.
No, that...
Or is that just out and back?
That was
trailhead.
From trailhead to the summit. Okay. But we were going to camp halfway through.
Right. Yeah.
Or about 2 miles in or something.
Yeah, that won't be bad. Again, weather permitting.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you do a fallback mountain or something. Well, like you said, that's good to call.
And I might. I'll be looking at Pikes Peak too, because most of Bar Trail, a lot of it is on that eastern, kind of southeastern face, and so that'll get a lot more sun. Should get more sun than the Mount of the Holy Cross Trail, most likely. So that one might be a good fallback. It is pretty tough, just because it is a half marathon from trailhead to summit.
Okay, good 13 miles then.
Yeah, and you go and it's in that distance. You gain. Oh, what is it like? Over 6,000, 7,000 feet or something like that.
You said that was Pikes Peak?
Yeah, Pikes Peak.
Where is
It's a good trail though, and there is a camping place about halfway up, so that is an option. That one's got a lot of excellent views as well.
So there's Pikes Peak. My dog is down here in case you hear something.
My puppy.
Yeah. So what's that then rated? I don't know how you get to the rating part. Routes. Oh, okay. So you go to routes. You pick your route.
It's a
class 1, class 2.
It's a class 2.
Yeah, it looks like you can do either 24 miles or 14 miles. So you're probably talking about the class 2.
It's the bar trail. That should be it should be the 24 because that would be round trip.
Oh.
I believe.
Topo map.
Where does it say? Does it start outside of Manitou Springs? That looks like it.
Sorry, we're trying to look at a tiny screen here. I'm using this really bad keyboard.
No, it isn't.
Anyway.
Because that was the south. Is that what it said? The southeast?
I have no idea.
Or east slope?
East slope? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
and that's the primary one.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what it'd be. I mean, it's just long. And then there's a spot when you get above tree line that it's just like a million stone steps and
Okay.
zigzags. But it's...
Have you done this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's 7,000 foot gain, so a little bit more than
7,600.
Yeah, 7,600. Don't forget that extra
don't
600. Yeah, sorry, we've been looking at the screen down here. Sorry. So yeah, I guess that's a good fallback. I'd still like to do the one we're kind of shooting for.
Right. Yeah. Weather permitting, I'd love to do that one because I haven't done it before. But as a good fallback, Pikes Peak might be one of the better ones just because that trail should see a lot more sunlight here coming up, and it's closer to the Front Range, which has a little less snowpack on it.
Gotcha.
So whereas Mount of the Holy Cross
is buried deep in.
Yeah. It's on pretty much the other side of the Continental Divide. So.
Yeah, the trail for Mount of the Holy Cross doesn't even open up to cars until about 5 days before we are supposed to go because of the wet conditions and stuff in the mountains.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's still closed into July. I remember one time my brother and I went to we went to do Long's Peak again. And yeah, there's a picture of my brother and I when we did Long's Peak. Did the full summit the first and only time. We attempted it a couple other times. The second time we attempted it, it was still like the trail. This was I think even in July, and the trail was still like completely snow packed.
Oh wow!
And so they're like, unless you have snowshoes and are like a experienced snow hiker, don't do it. And so we're like, okay. And then the third time we tried it, we actually got to go up it, and we made it to the Keyhole, which I don't know if anyone's familiar with it, but that's kind of, it's just this like ridge line, and then there's this hole kind of in the rocks that it kind of looks like a big giant keyhole that you crawl through to get to the other side of the peak to continue the trail up and around. And the wind was just horrendous that day. Like, I don't know, it had to be well over 50 mile an hour, and then gusts on top of that. And we made it up there and just said, nah, that's too dangerous. We're going to turn around and go back. And pretty much everybody else that attempted that day did the same thing.
Oh wow!
So
how many times did it take you to get up?
Well, we made it up the very first time.
Oh, okay.
We went out there.
So second time was snowpack, third time was wind.
Yeah. Because that one's got some pretty good exposure. There's a section called the Narrows that, and this was my very first 14er, and like very first time really getting above tree line.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we decided to do this one, but we packed way too heavy. It's a tough day hike, but we grossly overpacked, and so we're carrying all this extra weight, and get to this section of the Narrows. I mean, it is very aptly named. You got cliff going up on this side, and about 3-4 foot out, you've just got jagged drop off. Like,
and you had your full backpack.
Yeah, we had our full packs on.
Pack.
No, we had full packs on. We were inexperienced.
Yeah.
And you got people going both directions.
Oh man.
On this path, and then you pass that, and then you get that's when you get to what they call the home stretch, and then it's you kind of like crawling on all fours, just kind of scrambling up these rocks, and then you get to the top.
Huh.
So it was a little crazy, but we did it, and I think it took us on a round trip. It was like 13 and a half hours.
Okay, that seems what I read.
It was
for
those
type of climbs.
We were impressed with ourselves.
Especially your first time.
Yeah, we were
altitude.
We were feeling the altitude a little bit. I got a picture of my brother. I didn't upload it, but he's really got the altitude sickness. He was looking pretty good.
Yeah, it was something I wanted to make sure that I planned intentionally a couple days of camping or whatever, hiking around, taking pictures before we tried to climb it, just because, I don't know, when I've gone to 10,000 feet up and stuff, I'm sucking wind, and I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm not in the best shape yet, and so I wanted to make sure I gave my body enough time to not get sick.
Right. Oh yeah, it's definitely good if you can to plan to acclimate for at least a couple days. Sometimes you don't always get that, just because you get out there, you get camp set up, and trying to watch the weather and stuff, and you're just like, well, if we don't get up early tomorrow morning or tonight and start the summit, we might not get a chance to do it. And that's how Long's Peak was. It was first night. We got up at, I think we left camp around 2 a.m. and started it because the forecast was calling for storms and rain for the next 3 days. And on about halfway back on the way down, it started raining and hailing on us.
Oh, geez.
And then it was torrential downpour for the next 2 days, and we would have to periodically wake up in our tent, and so they're in these little tent site pads.
Okay. Yeah.
And with timbers, and then it had a sand and stuff for the bottom, and then the pine needles would bunch up at the drain spot between the timbers, and so you'd have to go out there and flick them out of the way so that your tent site would drain.
Your gutter was clogged.
Yeah, it was great. But at least we were able to summit and got to experience that, and then Pikes Peak was our next one.
I don't know if I have a picture. You have a picture of that one. You had to pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on there.
First, I have to say, Seth without a beard. He's been bearded to some extent for quite a while.
Yep. Did you not pull it up?
Yeah. Why?
Or is it? Oh, I'm right there. This right. Yep, all three of us, and then there's some others. It's just scenery, but yeah. So that's at the top of Pikes Peak. That one so up until last year, I had hiked in traditional hiking boots.
Sorry, someone's saying turn off the mic input.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Direction.
Is that better?
Let me go check the stats. Let's turn it up a little bit more. How about now? Oh, now I'm peaking. Microphones, audio is the hardest thing.
Yep.
Video is easy. Audio is a pain in the butt. Blue Water Buffalo, let me know how that is. Thank you.
But yeah, up until last year, I had traditionally hiked in hiking boots. Kind of rigid, hard boots, and I would usually have a couple hot spots, maybe a blister or two, but nothing super bad. And when we did Pikes Peak, I had just kind of got introduced to Vibram Five Fingers and had been running, did a half marathon in them. And so I decided to make those my summit shoes. So we hiked in halfway to our camp, and then I had my regular boots. And then when we summited, I wore the Five Finger shoes, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You definitely feel everything, and you got to be a little more cautious, like how you step and where you step. But it definitely was much better than wearing those clunky boots.
I've been watching some videos. A lot of people, they recommend not doing the boots unless you specifically need the heel support,
Right.
or are doing something cold. Right. Otherwise, they recommend trail shoes, which are like these zeros.
Yeah. So I don't.
I've shown a picture on my website of these, but I've been wearing these all the time.
Yes.
Even every day.
Most comfortable shoes I've ever worn.
Not sponsored.
No. But seriously, like, for the money and the quality, like, I have no complaints. Now, they are minimalist style shoes, and they have a wide toe box so that your foot, can flex and spread like it needs to. And if you're not used to wearing shoes like that, you will want to ease into them slowly. Otherwise, your feet will hurt. So definitely build your body up to it.
Because I was doing a lot of running, and so I just have normal running shoes, and so I bought a pair of the TerraFlex Zeros, and it completely works a different set of muscles. I was amazed. My calves took a lot more beating, I think, just because you don't have the cushion in the heel. It's more of your foot lands flat. And so, but once I got used to them, I don't want to take them off.
Yeah, your stabilizer muscles definitely get worked more, which in traditional shoes don't, because your foot is not allowed to flex and spread. So definitely go slow. But I highly recommend them. I did hiked in Bowen Lake Trail last year in Neverwinter Wilderness, I think is what it's called, or Never Summer Wilderness in Colorado, and we had our full packs. It was a little over 7 miles from Trailhead to camp, and our camp was, I think, right about 12,000 feet. My feet never felt better. No hot spots, no blisters. It was great.
Nice.
I'd never experienced that before.
Yeah, so I've been wearing, like I said, every time I'm like on my bike and everything. I like the treads in my pedals. Let's see here. What else? So I was not I was a city boy growing up. My dad didn't take me camping. The first time I went camping was with Boy Scouts, and I had a miserable time. It was the week-long or 5-day long like Boy Scout jamboree or something, and so I went out camping, and my parents had to drive out 45 miles twice because I was not having a good time. I stayed in a tent with one of my friends, and it was a nightmare. So I've tried over the years. Every year on October 1st, I go to Indian Cave State Park, and I would go and rough it. A couple times I camp, but mostly I just go and I'd do the outdoorsy stuff. I'd go on the hikes through Indian Cave State Park. Has a lot of it's in the kind of bluffs area in southeast Nebraska, and so there's good ups and downs, right. And you can do a nice 5-mile hike or something. So I do that and then stop and make a campfire and all that stuff. And that was the extent of my roughing it. Mm-hmm. But recently, I've kind of gotten into camping again. I think just I can do it now.
Yeah.
And so I've done tent camping. Have a little tent. But you got into hammock camping, and so I've bought a hammock too. And I've mentioned a little bit in a new video that's coming up. I'm working on it right now. I tried out my hammock for the first time. But why'd you switch to hammock camping?
I don't know. It sounded like something fun to try. For the tent I was had been using forever it was getting a little used and stuff. So I was kind of looking at, prices, new 3-season tent that's, was around £3 or less. And then my one friend, Chad, kind of told me about, he really liked his hammock. And so then I started looking at hammocks. And for the money, I could get, pretty much like a 3-season in a hammock that was £3 for quite a bit less money than what I could get a good 3-season £3 tent for, 2-person tent.
Well, what I hear is that, I have a bad back, and so I have to have a pad when I sleep in a tent. And so that's one of the nice things about hammock is people who do have bad backs, I've read that a lot of people say their backs feel better on the hammock. But as I found out in this video that's coming up, I think I uploaded a picture of it. Oh no, I uploaded a time lapse here. We'll see if I don't know how well this is going to stream or not. It's really fast. This is me attempting to put it up for the first time. What I found out is you need several things. One, you need trees. These are all old trees at this place. I was at Lake Minnetonka in western Nebraska, and you need big trees for your straps. And I found I want to buy strap extensions because
the tree straps that came with yours weren't.
I ended up having to use my hatchet and shave it down in order to fit it. The second thing I realized, everything here, because we're in western Nebraska, is sand. And so here I'm trying to put up the
stakes,
rain fly, and they weren't staying. So I had to move everything. And so here I am finally getting my underquilt on and the rain fly up and blowing up my air mattress. So I expected that time lapse to last longer than it did. I had set too fast. But so it kind of a pain. You can kind of see the shaved tree right there, which I hated to do. I like to leave the campsite as I found it.
There's definitely a lot of different factors that you got to take into account if you're hammock camping. One, you need trees, and you got to make sure you've got enough spacing but not too much spacing between them, and you can area that you can get it level, and but no, it's fun. It's definitely takes some getting used to on learning how to get in and out of it.
Yeah. Well, it just made me think of. So we went kayaking.
Oh gosh.
And I so wish I'd stuck a camera out and recorded Seth. But if you watch the kayaking video on my channel, Flarecourt Media, the kayaking adventure, we got caught in the worst thunderstorm I think I've been outside in
That was
ever.
Intense.
You'd see the flash and immediately thunder would crack.
Yeah.
And I had brought a tent, and we had camped at the halfway point the night before. We drove out, left a vehicle, and kayaked. We were going back to the halfway point, and we were going to proceed on to the Missouri River where we'd get out. That was such a horrible night with the rain and everything that we ended up only doing the one jaunt. So I had a tent already set up there, and you had your hammock from the night before, but you'd wrapped it up in your rain fly, so in case it rained while we were gone,
right,
your actual hammock would stay dry. Yeah. And this guy stood out there in the pouring rain for 25 minutes. One of the little strings had gotten a knot in it.
Oh, God.
And so he's out there just shaking. I can just see him convulsing, and I'm like, get in the tent. And I think you had Viking, what's it called? Berserker eyes. You were so focused on the one thing.
How do you get that knot out?
And so he's out there just shaking, and lightning would flash, and he'd duck his head a little bit, and finally, you got the rain fly kind of out and you're able to stand under
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But even then,
It was just so much rain. I mean, the whole camp area flooded.
yeah.
And
While I'm watching you, like I'm holding a flashlight out the tent so you can see what he's doing, and water is just pooling up in my tent from that little hole. And I'm like, if we don't even have a dry tent to run to, there's no way we're going to get any sleep.
No, that was crazy. But that's, I can almost count on anytime I do an activity, camping, hiking, something like that, it's gonna rain. It's happened probably a good 80% of my trips. So
yeah, here's my hammock that I finally got set up over there. I found a little grassy area, but yeah, all these big trees. It was just so hard to find one 17 feet or more apart, and then something I could actually put my stakes into. And if you're curious, I did take a picture of what it's like inside my hammock, and
what hammock do you have?
the REI. I don't know what it's REI brand.
Is
It's that box.
that quarter half dome too?
Yeah, half dome. Yep.
Or half dome air or something like that.
Yeah, so there's my feet down there, and something I learned was I don't want to put anything in the hammock with me. I put my shoes in there to keep them dry and make sure things didn't crawl in them, and they all slid underneath my sleeping pad. My water bottle slid under me, and so that just contributed to me having a really bad night. So in the future, I'm going to set those outside.
Yeah, it's
Or
you gotta put them
there's
up a little closer to your sides.
hooks up here.
Yeah, you
And
can
so I'm
hook
going to
stuff,
bring
yeah.
a couple carabiners
Yep.
that I can hang them up there.
Yeah, I would recommend looking at I think it's Night Eyes, IZE. They have S-beaners.
Oh, okay.
And they've got, it's like a mini S-beaner. No, IZE, not what you see. Night, and then IZE.
Okay. Anyway.
That's okay. Or NITE, IZE, something like that. If Amazon, you can find them. If you just do like mini S-beaner, I think it's the number 1 size or something. They're really small, but that would work perfect for that guideline. Because then, the one half just stays on there, and then the other half you can clip stuff on.
Sure.
But yeah, I usually have, if I have extra clothing or something that I might, put on the next day, or want to have in case I get cold or something, and I'll usually roll up and I usually have kind of under my knees, under my quilt and on top of my pad with me, and then my shoes I usually just put kind of more by my thighs on the sides, and then if I need to, then I can rest my hands on if they're outside of my quilt, because otherwise it gets if your arms touch, your bare arms touch the side of your hammock, and it's cold.
I found out on this video that's going to be coming out, it got down to 38, and all of my stuff is 37. All of my stuff is 40-degree rated. I had on my thermals, which saved me from the frozen lake that I fell in, which is another video you can find. Had on my thermals and another thermal type shirt with my quilt. The quilt was amazing.
Yeah.
But any part of me that wasn't in the quilt was freezing.
Yes.
And I had the under quilt as well. And maybe I didn't have it quite cinched just right. Let me pull up that video again here. Because you need a little air pocket, but you don't want to crush that air pocket. Yeah, you can see me putting it on right there underneath it.
Are you streaming the screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Web.
There, now you can see it.
Yeah, so there I'm putting it on. So you have the underquilt, and then you have the air mattress that I blow up here. Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, and you want to probably, when you hang it, you want to leave it, the underquilt, more loose than you think you should, because when you get in the hammock, it's gonna drop quite a bit.
And if you're pushed against
and it's gonna stretch it out, yeah.
Then all the insulation gets squished,
yep.
and you don't have
look
that.
good. Mm-hmm. So
I got too cold and I had to retreat to the car. Spoiler alert. I know I won't have that opportunity when we're actually out in the mountain. But it was there, and this is my first time, so I had a backup plan.
you just have to cuddle with a bear.
We had a couple more pictures here. Is there anything you wanted to specifically? Oh, here's my first tent, my luxury tent. This was a 3-person tent. Yeah, so I
Don't want to pack that.
took that camping, and that was pretty nice. 3 different rooms over there. But yeah, what else did you? Anything else you wanted to talk about? Because we're kind of going over our past history, like I said. So Seth's been out in the woods quite a lot. He's had lots of trips.
Yeah, so this picture is from the Black Hills. Went in 2017. My wife and I went, and that was a rough one. It was really hard to find we were tent camping. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be to find a somewhat flat area to put a tent up in the Black Hills. So we ended up hiking 17 miles the first day, and just finally gave up and pitched it, and it was as level as we could find, and he just kept sliding down to the bottom of the tent, and then went back, but and that was, wearing traditional hiking boots, and we had blisters so bad we could barely walk. I tried tying my shoes different ways. I had good socks, I had dry socks. It just didn't matter. But that pack, that's my current pack. It's an Osprey.
I think you have another picture of that somewhere.
Really like it. It's comfortable. Carries the load really well. The lid detaches really easily and turns into a day pack that will hold your water bladder, which is awesome.
Which mine doesn't, and that's why I did the video. I had to buy a day pack. The Go Next one, I did a short video about that.
Yeah. Yep. Other than that,
how many liters is that? Because mine's 65.
I think mine's a 60.
Okay. Looks like it's bigger than that.
I'm pretty sure it's a 60. Let's see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of the cool thing, if you want to show that one, the bottom of the hammock with my gear under it.
This one?
Yeah. Kind of the neat thing with the hammock, right, is something that kind of provides you can, I just laid down in one of those cheap emergency ponchos on the ground, and I would set my gear on that right underneath, so then if it did rain or something, it was pretty protected. So that's kind of a nice option. And then when you get out, you kind of got something to put your feet on too.
Yeah, that's something. It's different with the hammock. I found it out already because we were when I just went camping. I was in a camping area, right? And if you want to change clothes, you don't have the tent to go hide behind, so you have to kind of wait till no one's looking or be comfortable showing people your stuff.
Just do it.
I did it for their benefit, not for my. I would have flown the flag, but I didn't want to scar anyone. So, and coincidentally, the moment I did finally change is when the park ranger drove up to check on me. I'm like, pulling up my trousers right as he pulls up. I'm sure he's seen all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. He's probably got some stories.
So what mountain is that? That looks. I would call that probably a class 2 then, right?
Yeah.
Did you even take this picture?
Yeah, I did. In the description, I put a note. I put notes on them.
Steep slope.
Oh, you copied them in. If they're on the photos.
Oh no, I copied them over.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Steep slope.
Yeah, moving on.
I don't know.
But yeah, so anyway, so the point is
that might have been Pikes Peak. That might have been from Pikes Peak. I don't remember.
So I'm still trying to put together all my stuff. We have a list. We'll show you the list another time when we talk about gear.
Right.
I have a number of things that I still need to pick up. Basically, I think my plan is to bring one shirt, one pair of pants, and under something or other to sleep in, or if I get too cold, then I can throw that on.
Some polypropylenes.
And then a mid layer, like a pullover or something type of mid layer, and then a rain fly. That's kind of what I was thinking. So I'd have shirt, pants.
Like a rain jacket or a poncho.
Yeah, there's something like frog.
Frog togs?
Yeah, frog togs. I was going to pick a couple pants and top for about $20, I think.
Yeah, they're really cheap. They work really well, but make sure you try them on first. They fit really weird.
Okay.
Like, for me, I normally wear like medium in most everything. If I got a medium in frog togs, like it would fit around here, but the sleeves stop like
weird.
Halfway down my forearm.
Okay.
It's like for people with short arms or something.
Huh.
And it's like for me to get the correct like arm length, I have to get like an extra large or something, and then it's just like I'm swimming in this jacket. So try them on. They fit really weird.
Okay.
But I mean they're really affordable.
So yeah, so I was going to do frog togs for rain, and wind, and then bring along mid layer, some kind of a fleece or something, or pullover, whatever, and I don't know about pants.
I think I'm just gonna do
mid-layer pants.
I'm gonna do one pair of pants, and then my polypropylenes. Shirt. Maybe two shirts, maybe like a short sleeve and then kind of like a long sleeve type thing, and then probably a down jacket. And rainwear, emergency poncho.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's easy to grab. Just pull out,
right.
Top pocket of my pack, and then it can go over me and my pack.
Yeah, I mean, I have an emergency poncho, but I thought, with wind and everything.
Right, and that's what, so we'll just have to wait and see what the weather's like, too, because that'll kind of determine some of what I pack.
Right.
And I'm going to treat my clothes with the Sawyer bug repellent spray. We did that last year, and that worked amazing. We could just sit at camp, and you could just see the mosquitoes just keeping a distance from you. They'd never land on you. That was really cool. So I'm definitely going to do that.
Okay. But yeah, so I have that and a couple other minor things I want to pick up. The one thing that I'm going to have a hard time, I know I probably shouldn't bring it because it's heavy, is my hatchet. Like, I love my hatchet. I know it's going to add about, I weighed it, it's going to add about almost a whole pound of weight, if not more. But I think it just comes in handy. I'd rather have a hatchet than a knife any day.
You never know. It's always good for getting some kindling or something, if a fire is allowed. I'm assuming if the ground is snow covered, it should be fine.
I'm hoping down at where we sleep isn't going to be snow covered. Hoping now I've melted and it's just up high. Forever the optimist.
I don't know. I was just out in the mountains like a month ago, and there was a lot of snow, and they've gotten a lot more since then.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of melt off coming down.
Yes. So we're definitely gonna have flooding again later this summer when that snow melt finally hits.
Yeah.
Like they're comparing it to 2008's floods that they had along the Missouri.
Oh.
And the Platte.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about our time limit here.
Yeah.
It's about 45 minutes. Do you have anything else you wanted to throw out?
No. Thanks for watching, and I guess reach out to us if you want to. If there's something specific you want to see or hear about.
So yeah, put a comment down if you want to see us next talk about gear or some of the other things. I had a list of things.
Training prep, meals.
That was it, meals. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. And, we'll put links places to, our social information or
I'll be down
any
in the
other stuff
comments probably.
down there.
Yeah, you can follow him on Berkey Living on Instagram or Facebook, and me, you're already here on Flair Court Media.
Yep.
A little teaser as we leave here. I did take my drone out, and I had a glitch, and the drone.
You need to.
Yeah, I know.
Switch.
The drone lost connection as I was trying to record a video, so it's off getting analyzed to see if it was someone else's fault. Sorry, the drone's fault, like the firmware or something went wrong with it. Or I was flying, I lost connection, and it went into the water. So I just thought I'd. This is a teaser of the video coming out soon. The one I've been talking about camping here. So if you've ever seen a drone fall into water, here it is now. It actually goes in the water and it recovers.
Oh man, that's crazy.
It killed the gimbal. It looks like it's about ready to go in the water again here in a second. But so I have no idea what's going on my screen. I just see I'm close to the water. I'm like, up, up, up. Didn't know it had gone in. So I just hit return to home. And the thing came home, but the gimbal's broken. So it's off getting repaired. But I definitely want that for the mountains.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, that'll do it. Thank you. Some of you watching live, I appreciate it. You can catch the replay again later. And we'll hopefully do this again real soon.
Yep.
Until next time, we're doing what we love. Keep doing what you love. Thanks for watching.
Yep. See ya.
I need to stop the video.
We should just freeze like.
Glitching.